And today we have Arman Chaudhry and Brian Rogers. Gentlemen, which one of you are going first?
I'll go first.
Okay, well, come take it away. Arman Chaudhry with ArmaniTalks.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How's everyone doing today?
Well, thank you.
Great.
Perfect, perfect. So today I'm going to be, hold on, let me just put my timer on real quick. So today I'm going to be telling you guys a story about my book, Level Up Mentality. This is my first ever published book, and I want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory regarding it. So roughly around age 23, I had just graduated from college. I got my first ever full-time job, and externally, I was killing it. Everything felt very, very good. But internally, I felt as though something was missing, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. So I called my public speaking mentor one of those days. His name was Joe. And I was like, yo, I feel like something's missing. He's like, I know what it is. I was like, well, what is it? He's like, you don't give enough speeches. And I was like, what are you talking about? I give speeches in Toastmasters all the time. He's like, yeah, but you're not pushing it. And I was like, all right, well, where should I give speeches? He's like, that's for you to find out. And I don't think you're going to do it. I was like, you don't think I'm going to do it? All right, well, I'll prove you wrong. So that weekend, I started going all over to different places looking for speech opportunities. I went to clubs, I went to parks, I went to the YMCA, and eventually I ended up in a retirement home. I walk into the retirement home, and there's this lady named Peggy. She's this sweet old lady with short blonde hair, glasses, and I go up to her and I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, I would like to speak to your events coordinator. She's like, I am the events coordinator. I was like, all right, hi there, ma'am. My name is Arman Chaudhry, and I would like to speak at your next event. And she scopes me up and down. She was like, and who are you? I was like, well, I'm a storyteller. She's like, yeah? Well, what do you tell stories about? I was like, well, I can tell stories about anything, but I mainly focus on communication skills and mindset. She's like, is that right? And how much do you charge? I was like, completely free and on the house. She's like, you know what, kid? Come through next Friday, and I'm going to have a big event for you. Big event, huh? All right, I'll be there. So right afterwards, I called my public speaking mentor, and I was like, hey, make sure you're free next Friday. I got a big event. And he's like, already? I was like, yes. So next Friday comes around, I've prepared, I've practiced, I'm suited up, and I go to the event. I meet up with Peggy in the front. She's like, are you ready? I was like, yes, I was born ready for this. She takes me into this studio, which is pretty big, and there I see it in front of me, a staggering 4 people. And one of them was sleeping, and the other guy was my mentor. Hey, Peggy, I thought you said there was going to be a lot of people. She's like, well, there is. Normally, the only guy that shows up is the guy that's sleeping. I was like, oh my God, like, really? So I ended up giving the talk, and afterwards, my mentor took me to IHOP to celebrate, and he encouraged me. He's like, good job on taking initiative. But low-key, I was pretty embarrassed because I thought this was going to be a very big event. And as I was talking to him at the event at IHOP, I was like, you know, Joe, I think I'm starting to understand why I don't feel fulfilled. I feel as though I have a lot of different stories, but I don't have enough time to tell them. Only if there was a certain technology out there where you can get all the stories, compress it in one, and deliver it all around the world. And he's like, well, there is, dummy. It's called a book. You should write one. I was thinking, write a book? I'm no author. I can't do something like that. But for a 23-year-old me, he simply planted the seed. A few years went on by. The seed started to get watered. And April 20th, 2019, the seed had blossomed into a tree, and Level Up Mentality was born. So Level Up Mentality has now been sold in multiple countries all over the world. It's been sold in Germany, South Africa, Australia, Canada, France, etc. It's currently ranking top 4,000 emotional self-help bestsellers rank on Amazon's worldwide marketplace. And it's a book on mindset. So why is the first book on mindset and not communication skills? Well, mindset is the source and communication skills is the derivative. Sort of like an orange is the source and orange juice is the derivative. At the core level of it all, communication skills comes down to turning your mind into words. Maybe it's via writing or maybe it's via speaking. No more complicated than that. So in that way, mindset and communication skills are linked together. The book covers many different topics. It covers topics about overcoming a rock bottom moment, how to leverage your emotions, how to build a social circle. But as Jay said earlier, one of the most important skill sets to have in today's ever-changing era is lifelong learning. One of the most important chapters in A Level of Mentality is part 6, where I teach you how to learn and build skills. Growing up, we were often told, yo, you gotta learn. You gotta learn. This is very important. But they never taught us how to learn. Instead of treating it like a process, they treated it like a command. That's sort of like me sending someone to a cooking school and the teacher is like, well, cook. I said cook. Why aren't you cooking already? It's because it's being treated like a command, not a process. The beauty is that learning has frameworks. In this book, I break down the 4 stages of learning. I teach how to get your emotions involved, how to leverage consistency, and how to awaken your inner genius. Neuroscience in the last couple of years has shown that you never stop learning. Your brain is highly plastic and it's capable of wiring and firing new neural pathways at any stage of your life. So the whole phrase, you can't teach a old dog new tricks, it's been debunked. Unless the old dog doesn't want to learn, but if there is desire to learn, you can always do it. Information is potential energy and skills are kinetic energy. You combine the two and now you have magic. It was Eric Hoffer who stated a couple of years back, in times of change, it's going to be the learners who will inherit the world, and it's going to be the learned who will be beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. With the whole coronavirus thing, we're seeing more than ever how things can just change out of the blue moon. This is actually, in some ways, it could be a good thing for a brand new era. We're officially transitioning out of the industrial age and transitioning fully head on to the information age. What worked in the industrial age will not necessarily work for the information age. Charles Darwin talked about survival of the fittest. Well, he was talking about physically. Nowadays, it's survival of the fittest mentally. You got to be mentally sharp and you got to always be investing in your number one asset or unfortunately liability, and that's your mindset. If you want to grab a copy of The Level Up Mentality, you can grab one in Amazon.com. There's a Kindle version as well as a paperback version. If you would like a PDF version, you can check it out on my website, ArmaniTalks.com. And finally, I just want to say, level up your life, level up your reality, level up your mentality. Thank you.
Hey, Armand, that was awesome, man. And thanks for telling us where you can get that book.